Welcome back to The Hot Slice, a podcast brought to you by the team at Pizza Today. I am creative director Josh Count. Along with me, the executive editor Denise Greer. Hello, Denise.
Hey Josh, what's up?
It's good to be back on.
I know,
It's been
right?
a minute, yeah, but
It has. And
I love.
eventually it's going to stop raining in our area, so I'm excited for that.
I'm not. I don't know, but my garden is doing well though. So,
Same, same, same. All I do have a pizza garden going, so I have like all the tomatoes, the basil, the all the
same.
stuff put together so that I could like have just my pizza stuff in one spot.
Right. I just need to get an outdoor oven and I can have a pretty epic pizza party by the end of
I'm already there. You
July.
you can borrow mine. It's fun. It is
There we
good.
go.
Now that I've figured it out, I'm all set. Like I'm not scorching pizzas anymore because it's such a high heat oven that
I
I figured
honestly
it out.
believe I haven't gotten one
I
by
I
now.
can't I can't
I
believe
mean,
you haven't
I
either.
every time I see one, I'm like, maybe, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm exhausted. I don't know if I can. I'm just exhausted in the afternoon at night, so I don't know.
That's
But
okay. You're really good at ordering pizza, and that's what matters.
I'm really
That's what
good
our
at it.
folks
I'm
care
the
about.
best at ordering pizza, as long as I don't have to do it over the phone.
I know,
That's
right?
I get tripped up if I have to do anything over the phone,
Yeah, I need
ordering anything.
online ordering, and one of them actually, I just text them back, and they just fill an order for what I always get, which
Oh
I just
wow,
think that's kind of high tech and fun. I'm not gonna
yeah.
tell you who that is with, but but it's really fun.
Yeah, the easier the better. If I don't have to talk to anybody, that's it's all
Yeah.
good. So,
All right. So before we jump into our guests, we will say, they've dealt with a natural disaster, and I just want to remind everyone because we're looking at June right now, which means you're in tornado season, hurricane season will be coming up, fire season. So take a look at your insurance policies and make sure that your coverage is on point, and make sure that your business continuation insurance is good, all of that, because it is very crucial if you do have to go through a disaster. And we have a couple of articles on Pizza Today that kind of walks you through too.
yeah, it's usually one of the last things you would think about because it's
Mhm.
like, it's out of sight, out of mind kind of thing,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
can't happen to me. But as we've seen in this past year, it's happening a lot. So
Yeah.
it's something you really need to nail down right now.
Absolutely. So let's get into our guests. Our guest today is going to be George Payton and Casey Connor, and they own Good Pizza Company in Swannanoa, North Carolina. And if you know the word Swannanoa, you know that the Swannanoa River devastated that region during or after Hurricane Helene. And Swannanoa was just devastating for their business as well. They had what, 10 inches of water and mud and debris inside of their
But
restaurant.
when here's the kicker, they had only been open 6 weeks when this
Gosh.
when this happens. I asked them a question. It's like, hey, do you just want to throw your hands up at that point? Because I don't know, I probably would have. But so it's interesting to hear their story and how they come back, and I'm really rooting for these guys.
I know, right? And just dealing with everything. And then when we ask them specifically about dealing with the insurance, dealing with the cleanup effort, and dealing with, working through that. And so they have an amazing story to share that has a awesome win because George won at Pizza Expo. He took second place in the world's best cheese slice Southeast region. So that's actually been a nice kick for their business too. So we jump into that. I just it was a great conversation with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy.
Are you ready to elevate your bakeware game? Spokane, Washington-based Lloyd Pans is the trusted name for professionals and home chefs alike. For over 40 years, Lloyd Pans has been creating innovative food service, bakeware, and pizza pans and tools designed to deliver perfect results every time. Whether it's crispy golden pizza crusts or perfectly baked pastries, Lloyd Pans' durable, stick-resistant, and proprietary pan finishes are a game changer. Visit lloydpans.com to explore our full lineup and find your perfect pan today. Need shipping quotes or custom products? Email sales@lloydpans.com for personalized service. Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
Wow, guys, you have been through it in your first year of business.
You guys have had a season, as they would say.
Yeah.
I know people operations that have been in for 10 years that haven't dealt with what you have had to deal with in your first year. So tell us a little bit about the business and kind of when you opened and kind of what happened after that.
Well, let's see. We signed the lease last June.
Hmm.
So this place had been a pizzeria for about 30 years. It had been closed about 6 months. So we came in and cleaned up and started remodeling,
Hmm.
getting the kitchen ready. And that took about 2 months.
Yeah.
We've got a large space. So we were just opening with the kitchen while we were
Uh-huh.
still refurbing the dining room.
Okay, so you're takeout only
Yeah,
then.
yeah. So it was
Mhm.
takeout only. It was pretty limited hours,
Yeah.
giving us time to still work in the dining room.
Hmm.
So we opened August 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just at about 6 weeks,
Wow.
building up when the storm started.
Oh my goodness. And
Yeah.
Helene, I mean, that was nobody could have predicted how impactful that was going to be to your region. I mean, I remember seeing the news coverage and not being able to get a hold of friends that live in that region. And it just, I mean, catastrophic.
Yeah.
What did your restaurant, what kind of damage did you guys experience?
We had about 8 to 10 inches in the restaurant, and the river, the Swannanoa River, is actually right behind our restaurant. You can look out the back window and
Wow.
see the river. So we were a little nervous the day before, but they assured us that the flood 20 years ago didn't get in here, that everything was going to be okay. And then you know we came down here. We actually got a picture from somebody on the day after, and
Hmm.
you could see all the mud that was left behind.
Oh,
We weren't able to get here the day of the storm. The roads were
Okay.
washed out, the bridges were washed out,
yeah.
just
What
because of flooding. So
what kind of mindset the few weeks following that? Because you just gotten up and running 6 weeks. I mean, is there a point where you just like, well, throw your hands up and like, maybe this wasn't meant to be, or were you guys just kind of still in it?
I mean, I think the whole time
Yeah.
it was like, because we came down here the very next day and had a couple friends show up and start helping us pull out mud. And so
Mm.
I think there were obviously those moments where we
Mhm.
Yeah.
were like, oh my God, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But, I think a lot of it was like the support of family and friends that were here helping us,
Yeah.
that we weren't by ourselves. People showed up in bunches you know, to
That
help
means
us.
that means everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like just brings people together. Something I'm curious about is as you're seeing, 10 inches of, mud and water in your restaurant, and you're going through the process of trying to get your insurance, make sure, you're going to be paid out for your insurance and working through the cleanup and rebuilding process. What take us through that? Because I think a lot of pizzeria operators maybe they would look at that and be like, I don't even know where to start or what to do. Where do I even begin?
Well, let's see. So insurance, I mean,
Insurance didn't pay
yeah.
anything.
Well, they paid for
No.
inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that. Cleaning that out after a couple days, cleaning out coolers after a few days without power
Mm.
in like 85-degree weather isn't very much fun. Also,
No.
Yeah.
Do that as soon as you can if it happens,
Yeah.
because it just gets worse. Um, Insurance eventually covered our inventory. They didn't cover anything for the damage to the property because it was flood damage.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, there was actually a group that randomly showed up through a friend that I from college that I knew. They were called Mercy Chefs,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
and they showed up. And the person that kind of connected with me was they had a restaurant, I think somewhere down around Wilmington, and they kind of came in and they brought us some plastic tubs and some tents, and they were like, "Listen, here's kind of this is step one is get everything together, get as
Hmm.
much room as you can, get everything away from the walls because you're going to have to cut all the walls out
Yeah.
and pull all the insulation out." And then once we did that, and there was all the mud behind the insulation, it was
Uh,
like,
yes, do that as quick as possible because
yeah,
the mold grows very fast.
yeah,
yeah.
Once you start
Oh.
getting into the walls,
yeah,
I mean, it was up 18 inches off the floor in a
Hmm.
week. So,
So did you
Yeah.
basically have to just gut the lower half of your restaurant, basically
yeah,
yeah,
just take it down to the studs?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, pull out the insulation. Insulation holds a lot of mud.
yeah,
Oh, I bet. That
Yeah,
sounds insane.
the exterior walls probably had about 5 inches of mud in it.
Wow.
And, earthworms had gotten into it.
Yeah.
So that was a real treat.
A real
A real
treat.
treat to have earthworms in your
Yeah,
pizzeria,
yeah.
right?
I think
Absolutely.
I think one of the things that going back to the question about like whether we were going to throw our hands up or not, I think we brought a generator down here pretty quickly and started testing all the equipment.
Hmm.
And so that was the big thing. If we were going to have to replace every piece of equipment, um, I don't know if we would have been able to
Yeah,
to
we probably would have been
to
able to do that.
bounce back,
Yeah.
because there was so much.
Yeah.
Um, but aside from a few little things, it didn't ruin any equipment.
Oh, well,
Was
The,
your
that's
was your
amazing.
walk-in was your freezer fine, all that?
We don't have a walk-in. We
Oh,
operate out of reach-ins.
yeah,
okay.
So,
Okay.
Even better then. Yeah.
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 The walk-in, was kind of on its last legs, and I think it definitely put it down for the count.
Yeah.
Um, but the only thing we weren't able to test was the oven because
Hmm.
they had shut all the gas off.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Um, but knowing that the refrigeration stuff was still working, we were
Hmm.
kind of counting on that it was going to be okay once we got the
Yeah.
gas on,
Yeah.
because it sets up just a little bit higher than the refrigeration stuff, anyways. So,
But we had to do it all off of a generator for about a month.
yeah,
Something
yeah,
like
it
Yeah.
was at least a month.
And there
Yeah,
was no water
Wow.
for
Yeah, I heard that. I heard
almost.
water was hard to come by.
So, the cleanup, how long was the cleanup fully before you guys reopened?
about 10 weeks.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, the storm happened on September 27th, and we reopened on December 16th,
18th.
18th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18. Wow.
Did you rethink anything? Because you was like, hey, I gotta build these walls back. Did you rethink anything like, oh, we can do it this way now? Did that anything go into that?
Yeah, definitely. We had just put up a whole bunch of paneling. We had we wanted kind of an 80s vibe in here.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, real quick, I gotta interrupt. Your logo is
Yeah.
amazing. I'm a creative guy,
Yeah.
so I would wear your t-shirts all day. Those look amazing. So that's got a great vibe. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, it's all right. Our sister actually designed all that stuff. She's what is her title?
Uh,
She's some kind of
freelance.
creative, yeah, freelance
Yeah.
creative, uh, mastermind.
Oh, I
Um,
love
and
that.
so and so with our input, she kind of designed that. So
Yeah.
she did us a favor on that. But with
Very
the
cool.
with the '80s vibe, and all the paneling we had just put up, um, we had to cut out the bottom of it. So we had just spent all that money, and we were trying to go back and forth deciding whether we were going to rip all the paneling out. And so we kind of settled on just cutting off the bottom and,
Uh-huh.
and trimming it out. So it kind of looks like a chair rail.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
That
but
works.
That
yeah,
actually works.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, we just had to adapt a lot of things
yeah,
that we've
yeah.
done,
yeah,
but ultimately, like just being able to focus on the dining room, I think
Mhm.
ended up making it better.
yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, when you deal with such a widespread disaster like that, was there any particular like things that were hard to get your hands on to help you with the process to get, to get reopened? Were there things that you just couldn't get your hands on to actually get it done, to get the cleanup and recovery done?
Um, right away, it was water and electricity.
Hmm.
We had to, my brother, our older brother from West Virginia, brought a trailer down with one of the big water totes on it.
Hmm.
And so we would load up that every day or every other day. After a while, we kind of decided that for our mental well-being, it was better to just come down here and work every other day.
Yeah.
Because we were also still, at home dealing with no power, no water.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not just your business that's
yeah,
affected, right?
That's such a great idea because I mean, you guys could have burned out really fast not doing
yeah,
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, was the Swananoa, did it cause like erosion damage for your property, like where your business is? Because I've seen where it did that for some business owners, like it cut through and kind of destabilized some of the earth near their business. Did you guys have any issues with that?
Not on our building.
Good.
The other building at the other end of our plaza, more
Hmm.
towards the east, has a little
Yeah.
bit of cut underneath of it, and the half-mile stretch beyond that, most of the buildings up there are pretty much gone.
Yeah.
So we were
Now,
very fortunate.
when you reopened, I imagine that that was a big relief for your community as well, because, to have resources start reopening. Tell us what was that reopening like in December?
Um, well, it was kind of funny because a couple days before we reopened, um, we had this realization that we had just kind of like completely busted our butts trying to get reopened.
Uh-huh.
And then there was the looming, oh my God, now we have to start working even harder, like making all the pizza and like doing all this stuff. And we were just kind of like, oh shit.
You
Like,
should have took a vacation first, at least
yeah,
build a week in there.
yeah, we should have, but we were so excited and so
Yeah.
anxious, and the
Yeah.
community needed it and everything. But
Yeah, but I mean, we reopened on a Wednesday. Um, Ground through that first week, that weekend we sold out of dough and cheese, so there was a big outpouring from the community of people,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
because there was, I think there was one other restaurant open here at that point.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
So
I was
we
going to
were.
ask if your sales volumes were higher than when you were open for that 6 weeks prior to the storm, if
yeah,
it
it's
was
hard to
higher
measure
after.
because we added in an extra day. We added
Oh,
in
okay.
a lunch period that we didn't have before.
Oh, you added
So
a lunch day part. Neat.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So and it built slowly. We
Hmm.
opened the week before Christmas, and then January.
Yeah.
Uh, it's pretty slow around
Yeah.
here,
It felt super busy
but
though,
yeah.
because we
Yeah,
were still like
absolutely.
learning all this stuff. Yeah,
But now I look back on the days, just like 4 months ago, that we thought this is a really busy day, and now those
Yeah.
days feel slow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now,
So
what made you want to add that lunch day part? Because I see people adding day parts to their business, and I also see people pulling them away. So, what made you want to add lunch?
well, I mean, we're already here
Yeah.
prepping.
Yeah.
We were paying people to be here prepping.
Hmm.
We're paying rent 24 hours a day. So it just makes sense, if we can add, even a few $1,000s a week, then that, it just helps pay for things.
Yeah, really adds up over time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's
I'm-
awesome.
Sometimes I don't necessarily like the 12 or 13-hour days, but
No.
No one does.
just
Yeah,
that's
that's
just
for
part
sure.
of it.
Yeah.
Let's take me back before you guys got in the pizza business. Like what brought you to the pizza business, and how did you get your start?
Yeah, so about 10 years ago, I was having my 40th birthday party, and I decided we were talking about food, and I decided that I wanted pizza, and we had a friend that had a wood-fired pizza oven, and
Nice.
so we borrowed it from him, and we loved it,
Yeah.
and for he left it for probably a month, and we used it almost every day.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
It's
an
like you're
old,
not getting this back.
Yeah.
yeah, it was an old Forno Bravo on a trailer. And so we started playing around with that. And at that point, 2015, we started doing light caterings.
We bought it from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, yeah, and yeah.
I was working as a chef at that point. He had a full-time job, so it was just kind of a part-time thing that we would do,
Hmm.
for the love of doing it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and then for years we would, have, parties like in my driveway, and have friends over, try out different dough recipes, different sauce recipes,
Yeah.
different kinds of cheese. And so, just over time we slowly, got a lot of those, I guess, a lot of the research,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
a lot of that done ahead of time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. And was
Yeah.
that during COVID time that you did that? Was that like the driveway
Yeah.
stuff? Yeah.
Well, it was before that, and then we
Okay.
also did it during
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's a perfect fit for that. So okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you guys come back from December on, y'all are full steam ahead, rocking and rolling, and then you decide to come to Pizza Expo and compete. Congrats
Yeah.
on getting a nice win there at Pizza Expo. Tell us about your how you wanted to sign up and how you competed.
We dreamed about coming
Yeah.
to the Pizza Expo for
Yeah.
years, having the pizza oven. We were like, one of these days, we're
Yeah.
gonna get. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, somewhere in January, we're like, we should probably go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Now that
Yeah.
we've worked this hard,
That's right.
let's go
Absolutely.
do that. And I saw a spot open, and I was like, never done any competitive cooking,
Uh-huh.
but we're gonna be there, so let's just see what happens.
And you
So
picked one of the hardest categories because,
it was the only one. It was the only one still open.
yeah.
So,
My favorite category though.
I know,
yeah,
exactly. I mean, you cannot be a cheese slice.
a
If
good
you
cheese
can do
slice.
cheese well, you can do
Yeah,
anything well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was your secret? What is your magic of your slice?
Well, the dough. Let's see. It was probably 72 hours by the time we got it out there and
Hmm.
baked it. We packed it here, took it on the plane with us.
That was insane.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I did it. I've definitely learned a lot about how to compete from doing it this time.
Hmm.
But like I said, I went in without any expectation, and
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
What's
what are
nice?
some of the things? Or I'm sorry,
Oh,
Denise, go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. I was
I was
gonna say, what are the is 72 hour your normal dough, or are you on a 48?
Normally I try to do just a little over 24,
Oh, okay.
but it gets better towards like 48 to
Yeah.
72.
Yeah.
So
what did you learn? What were the, few things that you learned this time around that if you competed again, you would do differently?
well, let's see. I would probably use a different oven. We have like a super old Lincoln oven here
Hmm.
in Pinger. There was only one Impinger available there, and I tried to use it, but it was a little bit.
It's very different.
Well, it was very different,
Very
yeah,
different.
because it's modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not from the '80s. I think our oven's probably from like
Gotta love
1985.
the old school ovens.
Yeah.
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 Uh, but yeah, I would definitely look at more of the like options available, especially since we have experience doing wood fire and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, there were
um,
so many ovens available, like,
yeah,
but it seemed like everybody was kind of looking for spots on like maybe three or four of
oh
them.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
heard that somebody else say the secret is go find the oven that nobody else is on.
right, right. I mean, I was able to get in there like, I mean, I was on the floor for like maybe 20 minutes. I was in and out, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's good. Good.
Mm.
Look for the oven that nobody else is using.
Well, we did that.
Yeah, be prepared to you know, work outside of your comfort zone, and it's not your kitchen that you're cooking in, so you have to
Yeah.
be able
Yeah.
to adapt.
Yeah. Always expect the unexpected in a
Yeah,
competition. That's for
yeah,
sure.
For
yeah.
sure. What's happened since you've been back? Because by the way, you guys took, for those that don't know, you took second place in World's Best Cheese Slice Southeast region. So that was pretty awesome. And I saw that you got some pretty good news buzz from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely did.
Uh,
A local reporter came and did a story um, that does, I guess he does like mostly digital stuff.
Mhm.
yeah,
And then there was another reporter came like within the same
yeah.
time that is part of like the big newspaper in Asheville. I think she works for the Black Mountain
She works for
News,
Black
which
Mountain
is a
News.
smaller one, but yeah, the article she wrote ended up getting picked up by the Citizen Times,
Oh, nice.
and we were like, I don't know how to describe the different parts of a newspaper. I'll probably do it wrong,
Mhm.
but we were like we had a little blurb up above where it says Citizen Times in the newspaper.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we were above the fold on the front page, and then we had
Yeah.
a full page story, and
That's
I didn't,
huge.
I didn't even know it was happening until I went to the gas station across the street, and the guys were like, "You're on the front page of the paper."
Yeah.
Well, look
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah,
Did that help people that maybe didn't know you were there
for sure.
find you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
driven a lot of business in the past month.
Yeah.
We're still getting new customers even yesterday that were like, "We saw that article in the paper, and we've been waiting to try you."
Yeah. And yeah, I think that and like the Google reviews have been really good. We have
Mhm.
I don't know how many total it is now,
That's a
but
lot.
over 100 like 5-star reviews.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And we got one 3-star review because the guy didn't like our garlic bread very much.
Okay.
But that's it. So
Yeah. I want to do a series at some point on like your favorite one-star review because I think everybody ends up getting like a weird one-star review like this pizza has too much cheese on it.
Yeah.
Or I saw one, it was like, there's too many pepperonis on this pizza. I'm like, what? There should never be too many pepperonis on a pizza.
I will say in the like pre-competition meeting that we went to,
Mhm.
the guys running the competition, I remember as part of their like introduction saying like, "You're making the best decision you'll make for your business this year."
Yeah.
And I keep thinking about that
Yeah.
as things have started to grow since we got back. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
it's really been very good for business.
Yeah.
Have you been able to use it in your marketing that, hey, I have one of the world's best cheese slices?
It's been on social
Okay.
for sure. Yeah.
I think
That's
that's the
awesome.
only marketing we
Yeah,
do.
Yeah.
pretty much the only thing
Yeah.
we do is social media. So
Yeah. How big
there's
is your restaurant there?
We have 80 seats.
80 seats.
Yeah. And so I think with the kitchen and the dining room, it's about 3,000 square feet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and
That's
then
a big place.
it is,
Yeah.
and then
With
as-
80 seats, what kind of staff do you have? How big is your staff right
on
now?
a busy night, we have like 4 front of the house. We'll
Mhm.
have 4 people in the kitchen
Yeah.
Okay.
working the line.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are you quick serve or do you have a server staff or
we have a
regular?
server staff, yeah,
Okay. That's awesome.
yeah, but
That's
we still do. I mean, it's getting to where I don't know. I'd say like we're getting down to like 70-30 takeout and dine-in business,
Yeah.
but the dining room has started going on a wait on the weekends.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
Yeah.
it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
We're in Little Swannanoa, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult for some people to comprehend that they have to like wait for a seat here.
Right.
Yeah.
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 And, you know,
And I think about the fact that, you were just getting into your groove when Helene happened. And so you didn't really get to capitalize on the tourism market there and how
Right.
huge it is.
Yeah.
So possibly maybe this fall it'll pick right. I mean, I know summer's okay, but I know fall is huge in your region.
Hmm.
So being able to capitalize on the tourist season, I could imagine will be a game changer as well.
yeah, I think we'll definitely be able to. I mean, there's not a lot of people that stay in Swannanoa. We don't have hotels. There's a good bit of
Hmm.
Airbnbs. I know just anecdotally from people coming in, we're getting traffic from those.
Yeah, nice.
Um, but hopefully we can pull people, you know,
And
that are
and
staying in other towns that see the reviews and
yeah, and a lot of people still come out here because Swannanoa is one of the hardest hit places.
Yeah,
And so, a lot of people come out here, to, see the extent
yeah,
of the damage, and so, um, so that definitely gets some people in here. A lot of people come in that have volunteered
yeah,
locally as
hmm.
well.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
if
awesome.
you've driven there, you're gonna drive a few more miles for some good pizza. So you
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotta
exactly.
yeah.
yeah,
The next time I'm in Asheville, I'm coming. So just know I'm gonna call you guys and be like,
yeah.
"Hey, I'm coming.
get that cheese slice
Give me
over.
that cheese slice." Exactly. So what's kind of next for you? What are you looking forward to now that everything's kind of you're getting your groove and getting, the ops, into its full game. What are you looking forward to?
I think, continuing to try to grow, but also like figuring out a way to give back to the community as well.
Mhm.
Um, you know, with the anniversary of the storm coming up,
Yeah.
in a few months, trying to figure out a way to, raise some money for some of the local charities.
Hmm.
Um, and so I think that's one of the next steps.
Yeah. Yeah. When you come up with that plan, make sure you put a press release together and send it to me, and we'll get it
Okay.
out so that the
All
pizzeria
right.
industry can support you as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 So that's pretty
One
fun.
of the one of the things that I'm trying to work on right now is starting a 501c3.
Okay. That's
And
awesome.
I really want to make it specific towards pizzerias.
Hmm.
And I don't know like what will happen with it as far as whether we'll be able to just give people advice, kind of put together a game plan for them.
Hmm.
But it would be something where we could specifically reach out to pizza restaurants that have been damaged by natural disasters to help them.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
that's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In this
So
past year, we've lost so many. I mean, if you count the LA fires, hurricanes, tornadoes, we've definitely lost a lot of pizzerias in this country.
yeah, yeah, and that was one of the things that was kind of missing for us.
Hmm.
Is I mean, we had got little bits of it,
Hmm.
but it's something that if there was a way that somebody would have kind of stepped in and said, this, and this, it would have helped us tremendously.
Yeah. So if you're listening as a pizzeria operator and you have any ideas for Casey and George, hit them up. They're probably open to hearing how to continue with this idea of a 501(c)(3). I love it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we wouldn't have made it without help.
Yeah,
no,
You know,
for
definitely
sure.
not.
Yeah.
wouldn't have made it without support from the community.
Yeah,
So
all the volunteers and
figuring out some way to give back is the goal.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, to be able to pay that forward,
Hmm.
is like would be would be amazing.
Yeah, I love that. Well, we'll end on this one question, and that is, what advice do you have for other operators as they think about, how to, these things are hard to plan for, but what are some of the things that you think that they should really think about before, an event like that happens?
Look into your insurance policy.
Yeah.
Make sure you're covered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure it's updated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure
And
every natural disaster is covered because of they're
Yeah.
all hanging around now. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Try that. Make
Yeah.
sure like the valuation of your equipment, take a good inventory to make sure you've got that because they will ask for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any kind of pictures and data plate pictures and
Mm-hmm.
anything like that, would be good to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck. Make sure you
Yeah.
keep us posted on everything because we want to keep updated on what you have going. And I will be there probably within the next year. I will get myself to your spot and have that cheese slice.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Can't wait. And
All
if
right.
fantastic.
not, I guess we'll see you at the expo next year.
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
are you guys coming to Columbus in October to
I'm
Pizza Expo
here.
Columbus?
Yeah. Maybe.
We're gonna have a competition there too.
I know. I've already started
Yeah.
thinking about it.
We've got family, like I said, in West Virginia, so it's not too far. We
No.
can stop and see family and then head over that way.
And then head over to
Yeah.
Columbus,
Yeah.
Ohio. That'll be
Yeah.
awesome.
It's going to be fun.
So that'll be sweet. We'll have a great summer, and we can't wait to find out how you're gonna plan forward. So awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Cheers.
All right.
Well,
Thank you. See you
thank
later,
you.
guys.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.